All the parts needed to repair this light are available at crazyleds.co.uk. I'm Michael from Crazy LEDs. I'm going to show you how to repair a Peugeot RCZ rear brake light. These are a bit of a pain to open up, I'm not going to lie. I use a Dremel with a very thin stainless disc on it, like a saw blade disc. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut along this line, round here, and we're going to separate these two casings. These metal retainer clips, these do get in the way when you're cutting round. So I have a pair of pliers I use. I pry those. And before cutting into them, I remove the clip altogether. It just gives you that much more space to cut around there. I've put a little tiny bit of silicone paste on this disc, just helps it stop dragging with the plastic. Now when you're cutting into this front edge here, you really do not want to cut into or through the reflector. It won't damage anything if you do it, you'll just be able to see it. Okay, I've cut all the way around, or so I think I have. Best way to check if you've got any parts that are not lifting as they should, just run the blade without the Dremel actually being switched on, run it through the groove, and you'll actually be able to pick up the low and the high points. This one, cut all the way through now, we've opened it all up, pulls apart. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off all these plastic burrs inside and out, because you don't want any plastic burrs sticking to the inside of the lens. It just looks ugly. I like to wipe all the insides with pure alcohol. It takes off any traces of silicone that I've used on the blade, meaning that the plastic weld process just won't work at all. Now I'm going to remove the reflector from the base. I'm going to replace the board in this one for the customer, so I'm just going to cut the wiring plug away from that altogether. And to get these open, I always put gloves on because I don't want any fingerprints on the inside of this chrome reflector. It's not a problem, the fingerprints, it's cleaning them off. These units are getting a little bit old now, and when you rub the reflector for too much, you will just rub the reflector material off. So I always find gloves are best. And then you've really got to be firm with these because there's a little tooth on the underside. I'm just going to pull it, but I'm also pulling it upwards away because I'm trying not to disturb too many of the plastics inside. I've got my wire strips. I'm going to strip a small section off that. Okay, now we've stripped the wire. I'm going to feed the wire through the hole. Black to negative, brown to positive. All it needs. Obviously watch you don't join two together with a blob of solder. If you do, just take a desolder it. Now we refit the board into the reflector. Teeth into the guides in the bottom and twisting the board very firmly, that will snap into place. Sometimes snaps out like that. Keep going, it will snap back in. The board is firmly in. Get the wire, put the wire in its guides, like so. And before everything goes together, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe with alcohol just to remove any traces of silicone. Otherwise, no matter what glue you put on or what plastic welding you use, it's not really going to matter because the silicone will just cause the bond to fail. Now the best bit, give everything a blow out just to get rid of any dust. I'll do this on the floor. Now it's just a case of putting it back together. Now some people prefer to just run a bead of plastic glue all the way around just to secure it in. What I do is have a soldering iron tip, and I run a soldering iron tip all the way around. Now it's time to put these plastic clips on. Press that little small tab back in place, tip like that. Now to test the light. Okay, I'm going to show you how to remove one of the LEDs from the board. Iron, you feel like the solder go wet. Tin these pads off. Pop it in place, making sure the pour out is correct. Just power the LED up. There we go. One done. 20 to go.